Hello and welcome to this evening's webinar. I'm Andy Gwynn and welcome and congratulations on booking on to the 9 things you should know before starting a business and the pitfalls to avoid. I congratulate you for taking the time to invest in your own knowledge and to find out more about obviously what you're looking at, because I believe that's very important, and I'm going to come on to sort of more about that over the next 20 minutes. We are a team that run a business called 3 Degrees Social. I'm Andy, Mary, my partner, and Kat, our associate, and we work with business owners and people looking at growing and developing businesses. I have 11 years, but between us we have decades of experience of coaching business owners to succeed more. And I've learned lots about the challenges people face and the things people perhaps don't understand to look at before setting up or buying into their own business. So I want to give you some of the key points really that hopefully will prompt some thought for you to consider before jumping into a business. I think one of the biggest challenges I meet is people are passionate about their product or service or what they think they can do, and they jump into setting up their own business. And actually a lot of the work when I've started working with people is when they've reached a point of almost being in pain from the mistakes they've made. And I'd rather you learn from some of ours, because those are some that I've learned from other people. So number one is these are things to consider before you even open your business, before you decide that it's the business that you want to build. Some of these may sound obvious, and it's actually, people say to me, well, it's common sense, but out there I realise that common sense isn't always that common. And so number one is there a high demand for the product? Because your business should create the wealth for you and your life and give you flexibility and time. Business should give you choices. So I would suggest that it's not just about the product, it's about structuring it. In order to structure the business, you want something that's in high demand. If it's in high demand, you can sell it and market it more easily. So is there a demand in the market for your product or service? Who does that product help? We're going to come on to more of that, about getting very, very clear on who is it that's likely to buy your product. There will be a range of people. Who does it help? Because you want to be focusing on the ones it helps the most, the ones that are going to buy it the most or buy it easiest. And they are. How easy are those people to reach? What problems does your product or service solve? A lot of people don't look at things that way. Everything we sell really is solving a problem or helping the client. So check out your competition. How much competition is there? Because it doesn't necessarily mean that just because your product's in high demand that it might be the right product to go into business making or selling. Because if there's a high demand, there might also be high competition. So check out your competition. You need to think about how will you stand out against them. What tools will you get to do this? So what marketing tools, what marketing system? Nowadays we have more marketing capability and opportunities than we've ever had, especially with the internet. We're here tonight with it, with social media, with internet, with email, with online stuff. There are far more tools available for you to compete, for you to get your product to market. What sales tools will you have? What business growth tools do you need? You need a toolbox to be able to build this business. How will you be positioned in the market? Are you going to stack them high and sell them cheap like some supermarkets with baked beans? Or are you going to be positioned like the Rolls Royce in the marketplace? What are your USPs? USPs means unique selling points. What is it you can create that's unique for you? Because if you're just the same as everybody else, then your target market, your client market, will have nothing to choose, probably other than price. And we'll get this out of the way. If you compete on price, you'll probably die on price. Is your uniqueness, is your point of difference, is it strong enough for you to be able to sell your product? So here's some action I would suggest that you take. Research. One of the things I say is you need to be a forensic scientist of your business, a forensic scientist of your clients. Research the more you know, the more competitive you can be. Research how people already in your market stand out in the market and how do they position themselves differently. Do your research. because the more you understand, the more you can find out where are the gaps, how can you position yourself separately. Your business has to be profitable. That sounds maybe as though it's obvious, but don't be fooled. A great mentor of mine says the language of business is numbers. There's a point where it doesn't necessarily matter what you're selling. It's about selling it, producing it, delivering it profitably. Most people I meet did not go into business to manage numbers and finances, and yet you should. You need to learn, you need to be a generalist and employ specialists. You need to certainly understand the profitability and the finances of your business. You need to take an in-depth look at the model you're going to be running. Does the profitability match what you want to earn from the business? I met people who said, well, this is what I need to make, this is what I want to make, and then discovered when we've looked at it that the business is never going to give them that. What are the running costs of the business? So it needs to be profitable. The next thing, one of the other things to then think about is how are you going to get and keep customers or clients? A lot of people sort of think they'll just get customers. A lot of people are not that clear. The clearer you are, the more successful you're going to be. Obviously, sales and marketing for me. And then another great mentor of mine said, nothing in business happens until a sale is made. So it is the lifeblood of any business. It is the most important thing you do in your working day, whether you're doing it directly, if you're setting yourself up as a sole trader, if you're setting up a business to have an infrastructure and people and team around you overseeing this, it's still the most important thing you can do in your day. And where the majority of your time and focus should be spent. You need to have the greatest degree of clarity of how you're going to get customers from day one in your new business, but also what are the tools you need to help you get them. Again, what's your marketing strategy? Not just what are you going to do, but you should have multiple marketing activities, because if you just rely on one thing and that falls over, it's stuck. One of the biggest challenges for small business owners is that they need to get business and work, so they sell, and market, then they need to go and deliver. Oh, now I've delivered, I've run out of sales and marketing. It needs to be an ongoing process in the business. So what is it you need to help you with that? So here's some things that I'd suggest, again, go do. I really believe it's the biggest pitfall for most startups. A lot of people are world class at getting ready. I'll put it all in place. Actually, the 80-20 rule says if you've got 80% of it ready, go market, go sell, go get some business. You can then also deliver. But you need to research what other people are doing. What's the most successful marketing strategies? There are now literally hundreds of different types of marketing strategies. Newspaper adverts, TV, now is social media. And within social media, there's a myriad of marketing strategies. Which ones are the most leveraged? Which are going to give you the best results? Which do you need to focus on? I have another mantra that certainly in business says less is more. What are the key things you need to focus on? So research, what are other businesses doing? Best way to set my business up is to model what are the best ones doing, and then look at how can I improve it. And what are the most profitable? Set aside 80% of your time. This is the 80-20 rule for me. How to get, but also keep customers. Never fails to surprise stroke frustrate me that people generate leads, inquiries, and then don't go sell to these people. Or they go quote people, but then don't follow up the quotes. And then when they followed up the quotes and got the business, they deliver and then ignore. How many of you had an insurance company or a web designer come back to you a year later saying, you want to renew, you want to buy, but you haven't heard from them throughout the year? You need to focus on getting and keeping those customers. Preserve and fight hard for this. It's your only strategy for success. Your clients are my number one priority in my business is to my paying clients, and then focusing on bringing in more. And actually, the easiest client to sell to is one that's already bought from you. What training and support you need? Number 4. This is a biggie for me. I just had a conversation the other day that somebody was talking about things in life and the universe can't stand still. Everything in life is growing or dying, and that includes you as a business owner or your business. If I stand still, I'll get overtaken. So nowadays with technology, nothing stands still. I do a lot of work in the property industry. That's one of the fastest moving markets I think there is out there. The internet marketplace is one of the fastest moving marketplaces out there. You've got to constantly look at improving. You need to become relative expert in all aspects of the business. So what training and support's available? What will you need initially? What ongoing training will you need? You need to learn more about finance, sales, marketing, recruitment, management, leadership, delivery, systemization. What else is there? How will ensure that you're on track and supported to reach your big goals? Because I also believe that anything is possible, but we need to constantly, great saying by a guy called Jim Rohn that says, never wish that life were easier, wish that you were better, and that I should work harder on myself than I do on my job. Because the more experienced, the more knowledgeable, the more trained you are, the easier your business becomes to build and to run. So number 5, what are the maths? And what I mean by that is, does it all add up? What do you need? You need to literally forensic analyze all parts of the business. Is there a cost of stock? What's it costing you on interest to buy and hold your stock? What's your costs on premises? Do you need to lease? Do you need to buy? Nowadays with premises you can have virtual offices. But my business is franchising and recruiting franchisees of people that want to become LinkedIn trainers and coaches. I don't have stock. It's a virtual business. It operates on the internet. What premises do I need? They're small and minimal. What staff or team do you need? Are they internal? Do you employ them? Do you freelance and subcontract them? I use a virtual assistant. So I've only ever met her twice. She's the other side of the country because a lot of them might have me. So what staff do you need? Can you grow without help? I would perhaps say, can you grow with minimal help? What sort of help do you need? What's it going to cost? At what stage will you need help? And what kind of help? And again, what's the implications of that? Most people just get busy and say, I need to employ someone. I go, can you afford it? And when they look at it, they typically can't. And actually, how much money do you need to make before you need to bring someone on? At this point, then I'll bring someone or subcontract this out. And it very much is a plate spinning exercise to begin with. And it very much is constantly a balancing act. Some top tips. Nowadays, again, with internet, I've talked about virtual assistants, VAs. Fiverr is a way of getting work done very cheaply. Elance, call answering. It astounds me in business, and especially in sort of retail. It's been proven, and you've probably done it. If you've called somebody, you need a plumber. If you get their voicemail, you'll probably just ring the next one you found on Google or Yellow Pages. Nowadays, there's so many call answering companies. You call our business, if we're on the other line, or we're out of the office, it trips over to an answering service. You've got a real person answering it in my company name. They'll take a message and then they'll email me or send me a text message. So what can you do to get customers, keep customers? What can you do to ensure that you're not missing opportunities? How can you leverage it? Leverage in my mind is, how can I achieve more with less effort, less cost, more efficiency? So you need to make sure that you know the numbers. What is it you need to cover all your bills, domestic and commercial? Speak with a good accountant. You need to remember, you need to become a generalist and employ specialists. Again, why on earth do business owners do their own bookkeeping? Pay a bookkeeper £20 an hour who's much better at it than you and will do more than an hour than you'll probably do in 3. That frees you up 3 hours to go and make more sales and service more customers. You are running a business. You're not a bookkeeper. You're not an accountant. You're not an IT specialist. You're not a web designer. You need to maybe make enough money initially to be able to go pay these people, or set up your business with the capital to be able to do that. Ensure you're factoring expenses and overheads into your forecast. How much will you need in operating capital? So how much will you need on a day-to-day basis to run your business? Invest in marketing. The amount of people that say, oh, I haven't got any money to invest in marketing. I'm just going to do some of it myself, pick up the phone, walk around. That is crazy. So how much will you need to run the business on a day-to-day operating basis? And how much will you need for your own lifestyle while you're building the revenue of the business? At what point can you be expected to break even? The big retail stores, they know at what hour, of what day, of what week they break even, because everything above that then becomes profitable. Cash flow is vital. You need to know your numbers. Residual income is a beautiful thing. What do I mean by residual income? Residual income is income that comes in even though you're not working. So I have a property portfolio. I do the work, do the sales to get the tenants. I have a manager that runs that, runs the tenants, runs the advertising, manages the tenants. That income comes in whether I'm there or not. Residual income means it's residual, it comes in without you having to do the work. Why would you want it? Because it's passive, it's residual, it becomes my pension. So if I'm the hairdresser, I'm running a hairdressing business, I want other hairdressers cutting their hair, other people sweeping the floor, other people taking the money. And so I've taken the revenue, so I generate a residual profit. It's my pension. Can you generate it? Can you generate multiple streams of income? I used to work with a guy, and we used to sell products that were in the boxes. We'd import them, they'd be in a warehouse, we ship them out. And at one point we said, we sold workwear and safety footwear, and at one point we said it doesn't really matter what's in the box because we've got the process to sell anything. I just coached a client who imported one product and decided to import a completely different product, completely different market, nothing to do what his business did. Did it matter? He sold it, he made a profit, he got multiple streams of income. So can you run other businesses? What can you do to aid growth? You need to think about your skills match. What are your strengths? So many people just bowl into something. What are you best at? Because what you're best at is probably what you enjoy. When you enjoy what you're doing, results happen a lot more exponential. So what's your current skill set? What will you do in the business? I'm going to business with partners. When I first set up my business on my own, I defined my roles. Just have every role in the business. Just happen to have my name in it. Great book to read is Michael Gerber's The E-Myth, The Entrepreneurial Myth Revisited. What won't you do? What don't you want to do? Does what you're doing in the business match your skills? Because what you're not best at, you need to be bringing people in to help you with that. DISC profiling, DISC is a personality profiling tool. There's a bunch of those tools out there. Go and understand, get someone to help you understand and profile your behaviors, your strengths, your areas for development, maybe your weaknesses, so you can get an understanding of what you should really be aligning your business with. Does the business you're thinking of going in really match all of those? Don't fit your skills to a business that's not relevant. Or the pitfalls, sales, you need to become a master salesperson. What's your vision? I just asked a guy today, he's quitting corporate world to set a business on his own. I said, great, what's your vision? He said, what do you mean? I said, what do you want it to look like in 3 or 5 years' time? So, and how will you know you get there? What are your trackable measurables so you know if you're on target or not? Most people just run off, and when things change, they go off in a different direction. You'd never do that setting a sat-nav destination in your car. Your sat-nav knows exactly where you are now, exactly where you want to be, to the postcode, and it maps out the finite route. You go off the route, it recalculates it to get you back to where you wanted to go. Have a clear plan. Sat-nav is a detailed, clear plan of every single turn. Most people don't plan. I used to run a scuba diving business, and the mantra was, plan the dive and dive the plan. Most incidents throughout the year were when people either didn't have a plan or went off plan. And most business owners I meet don't have a plan. I can't stress this enough. Don't spend 3 days working on a business plan that will sit on the shelf for the next 3 years. That's called shelf development. Plan how you're going to get customers. Where will you find them? Even down to the names. How much are they going to spend with you? You cannot, even for those of you that are not that detailed, you cannot get enough detail on your plan. Those of you that are detailed, you'll love this part of it. Finances, be realistic. What times of the year? Is it seasonal? Forensic scientists you need to become. How would this business fit into your life? Does it serve your lifestyle? We've heard of work-life balance. Here's the mantra: learn to work smart rather than just hard. Part of my goals, part of my lifestyle is to spend time with family and people that are important to me. So my work, my business has to fit in and around that. So I need to work smart, not hard. I'm not going to do 24/7. Ask lots of great questions. Involve your family members. It's an interesting one. Involve your family members, certainly. I meet a lot of clients where I coach them because they said, my family don't actually understand what I do. And that's similar. I'm a businessman, an entrepreneur. Some of my family are professionals that have never run businesses. They've worked in the public sector or the big corporate sector, worked for the NHS. They don't necessarily understand what I do. Still, I can still get a slant on it from them. But involve certainly people around you. I've just met with someone who's looking at our franchise to become a LinkedIn trainer and coach, and the first meeting is with his spouse because he's about to commit to growing a business over a long period. It's a big part of their life, and I've said to them just as much as they recognise it needs to be a two-way thing. That it needs to be aligned. I go into it eyes wide open. I've had a business owner said he wants to make $1 million, and then when I've asked his wife, she just wants him at home to see the family grow up. You have to balance it. It's got to be aligned. And go into it eyes wide open. Most people make emotional decisions, and that's where the challenges happen. Have a clear agenda and checklist of everything you want to be achieving, and go into it eyes wide open. Make sure it meets that whole checklist. I hope those 9 tips are of value. There is an offer coming up on your screen now. If you want to find out more about our franchise social media business, the great advantage of a franchise is that it gives you a lot of what we've just talked about. It has a structure behind it. It has a proven model. It's very clear on its target market and what you're selling, so you can have the support of the franchisor that's already proven that. You can replay this presentation. It's up there online now forever to keep visiting it. And by all means, have a look at it. By all means, have a look at some of the resources that we'll also send you. If you're seriously considering setting up your own business, I wish you the best with it. I wish you the absolute best with it, because I do believe that running your own business, a business gives you the vehicle to achieve whatever wealth and free time you choose. The challenge for most people out there is they don't know how to drive that vehicle. Learn how to drive that vehicle. Learn how to become an advanced driver. Learn how to drive around the racetrack. And I wish you all the best with your business. Thanks for joining us this evening, and good night.